What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here. Well, let me adjust this camera. Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another video. Now, I am very, very tired. I've had a long trip from Newcastle yesterday. But on the way back, we didn't have any connection, so we couldn't really talk about this. But on the way back from Newcastle yesterday, well, actually, before the game, there was huge hints dropped that the West Ham PR department were about to sort of drop a huge transfer announcement after the game today, win, lose or draw. Yesterday, win, lose or draw against Newcastle. Obviously, we won. It was a great game. But obviously, nothing come of that. There was rumours circulating all day. But we did pick something up from Twitter and Instagram specifically yesterday regarding one Jesse Lingard. Now, look, we've gone through the whole summer. We haven't got a lot of transfer news to give you, so we don't do many transfer shows. We've signed Areola on loan. And although yesterday was a great win, I'll talk about that in the morning after the game before in a little while. Although yesterday was a great win, what it did show to me is how thin we are on the bench. I mean, if any of them players go down and go down for a long period, or we're missing anyone for a long period, we might struggle a little bit. And we've got a good side. But Darren Randolph has dropped. There's been questions on off all season. Is Lingard coming back? Then there's quotes about him saying that he doesn't want to come back, and he was using West Ham as a stepping stone to restart his Manchester United career and all of that sort of thing. And the conversation went a little bit dead. But Darren Randolph, our third choice goalkeeper now, sort of dropped a hint on Instagram yesterday, suggesting that Lingard may be on his way back. So there's the quote. Darren Randolph sent it last night. Jesse Lingard, I'll be seeing you soon at Rush Green for training. You know you want to. So it looks like Jesse, there's Jesse there. It looks like Darren Randolph has sort of let slip that there is some sort of conversation happening between West Ham and Jesse Lingard. Now, it was a fantastic performance yesterday against Newcastle, don't get me wrong, but there were some frailties to be seen. The lack of depth on the bench. At 2-1 down, you're sort of looking at the bench and thinking at half-time, you know, if we come out and we're the same in the second half, there's not really anybody there to change the game and try and swing it in our favour. Also, the defensive frailties, which, you know, we could talk about Milinkovic or whatever he's, however you pronounce his name, to the cows come home. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It is, and it isn't, and it is, and it isn't. We're edging closer, but nothing ever seems to get done. But in regards to the forward line, which, in my opinion, is very important, because we have got Ogbonna, we have got Diop, we have got Dawson. We need another centre back, no doubt about it. But in terms of the forward line, with Bowen, Antonio, and Ben Rama, who I think is going to have a fantastic season. That was awesome yesterday. But any sort of long-term injury, we could be up shit creek without a paddle, to be quite honest with you. But that hint from Darren Randolph there seems to suggest that there is something, that there's sort of rumours. I mean, with anything like this, I think when you look at the Twitter sphere and Instagram and things, I think people start to fill the gaps. I don't think there's any sort of truth, or, you know, no one really knows, but people fill the gaps in between, you know, what is being said and the conversations. And apparently, if you was to believe them, you know, Jesse Lingard's been making a bit of noise saying how he wants to come back to West Ham, and he's not happy sitting on the bench at Manchester United and whatever. But hey, there we go. A little bit of news. I thought I'd just drop it in there for you. I think it's a little bit positive after positive from yesterday. What do you guys think? Let me take some of your comments before we end the stream. Phil's Andy Man says we need Lingard back. I agree. I think Lingard's a fantastic player. It doesn't look like we're doing any other business for anybody else. Kira Kos says, I'm bored of Jesse personally. I only want him to come if he badly wants to. He should want to come. We're We were good for him. I'd rather get a defender or reserve striker personally. We definitely need to get them as well. Hopefully we see some movement, because to be honest with you, this transfer window has been a disgrace for West Ham. Select Torres says, keep missing out on these targets, apparently due to the board not willing to pay the wages of these transfers. Listen, I could talk about the board all day as well. Alex Bicknell, 89, said, should sign Edouard. Yeah, look, a striker. We need a striker. Lingard ahead of a striker is worrying. Budget does not stretch far. Apparently, the price might have been lowered a little bit for Lingard, so it might be a little bit left in the coffers, whatever the coffers are. Slick, I think we're waiting for clubs who need to offload to get desperate. Jay Lings says Milenkovic. We just spoke about Milenkovic. Who knows? You know, we've been edging closer for so long. Who knows? I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Him or some other centre back. We see defensive frailties yesterday. Nicky, how many signings minimum do you need? Do you think we need? I think 4, to be quite honest with you. I think 4 signings. I think that's Lingard or someone in his position, a striker, a defender, and a midfielder. I really do. Although it looks like Connor Coventry may be preferred in that position, but who knows? Having him a whole season could prove key if he was to repeat last season's form, says Ollie Reliax. Ironside, what centre back would you choose, Nicky? If I had the choice, I would choose Milenkovic. But who knows? Jay Lings, Milenkovic, is the deal dead? Do you think it's the agent's fees? Listen, when a transfer like Milenkovic comes along, when he's in the last year of his contract, and he's got quite a few people chasing him, agents do ask for large chunks of transfers. They do ask for large chunks of transfers, because he can walk away for nothing at the end of the season and, you know, get that sort of a large signing on fee. So, you know, when a move like that is happening, they sort of like try and say to the clubs, both clubs, you know, we want a large chunk of the transfer fee. You're not going to get it, otherwise he's going to walk away for nothing. Hammer 1999 says, depth in the attacking midfield area is needed massively. Bench with only Lanzini and Yama was awful yesterday. Exactly. When do we find out who we have in our Europa group? I think the draw's next week, to be quite honest with you. What a beautiful Monday, said Random Rooster. Come on, you Irons. Select Torres. We will drop out early in Europa if they fail to make any transfers. Yes. In 2 Fridays. Oh, there you go, 2 Fridays. So it is next week. LA 17, Lingard would be great, but yesterday proved we can go without him. Not if someone gets injured, we can't. Sending my West Ham Fan TV mates the best from San Francisco. Hoard all the way the land's fad and clear on the telly. We was loud yesterday. I got some clips on the camera. My camera ran out halfway through, but I got a load of clips on the camera. I'm going to upload that at some point this week. I don't want Lingard, if he went for a purple patch and was quiet in the last 5 games, only wants to come back to West Ham because he won't get a game at Man United. Benny and Lingard fighting for the number 10 position. Who's your striker choice, Nicky, says Hammer 1999. I'll be honest with you, right now, I don't know, because a lot of my striker choice, my first striker choice would have been Danny Ings all day long, and he was available. As proven, he's gone to Villa. I would have chosen Danny Ings, 100%, 100%. Prediction for Europa League, Nicky. We'll do that later on down the line. And I'll take one more comment. Wow, super early there. It is super early. I mean, I was up. Let me just give you a rundown of my day yesterday. I was up at 4 o'clock a.m. To get ready to go to Newcastle. Went to Newcastle and I didn't get home till 1. It's now 7:20. Super early. But listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this video. I thought I'd just give you a quick update. There's been not much happening during the summer, so I thought I'd give you a quick update on the little bits and pieces that we've got going. I've got a morning after the game before coming up very soon, talking about the Newcastle game. I've got a later on down the in the day at 12 o'clock. We've got a video with Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, and Roy Keane, and I asked them whether football was collapsing. So if you're around, go and check that out, because that is a real good video. I was lucky enough to be invited to the overlap by Gary Neville, and I got to ask myself a question. So I spoke to them guys about that. But yeah, absolutely, man. I'm happy. But this is the dangerous thing around transfer deadline day. like when it's coming up to the end of it, that you win games and you start to feel good and you start to make less noise. But we need signings, because that Europa League could kill us off. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. One thing left to say: come on, you Irons.